Choosing your niche is actually a lot easier than you think, and I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. Let's get right to it. So, the first thing that we need to understand is that you need to start with you. Okay, YouTube is a long-term game. It is a game that you will hopefully want to play for the rest of your life, or at least for several years, especially if you want it to be your job, right? If this is your dream, you want it to last. And so we need to think about this reasonably. We can't allow, money, greed, and things that we think are easier, I guarantee you they're not easier, to stop you from picking a niche that is actually true to who you are. All right. A great niche sits at the intersection of your passion, audience demand, and monetization potential. Niche needs to at least meet at least two of these things in order for it to be viable. If it has, it needs demand from the audience if you want to get views and get monetized. But if you want to be sustainable, you actually have to like it. You have to like what you're doing. It has to be something that you can do long term. And so I'm going to help you figure out how to find that. And so this is something that you have to be able to talk about for years. Also, if you're trying to get monetized, it's great to have authority. And so you should probably find an intersection between something that you like and something that you're good at. That way, what you have to say is actually valuable and people actually listen to you. It's very, very important. Something that people are actively searching for. Nobody is searching for basket weaving bluegrass tutorials. Like, what even is that? I don't care if it's your passion, that's great. Nobody else cares, right? And so there is, an element to this where you can't just follow your passion. You also, if your passion is very, very obscure and no one else cares about it, no one's going to search for videos for it. And your videos aren't going to get views. And so it does need to have something, and if you want to get monetized, it does at least need to have some sort of monetizing potential. And the beginning of monetization potential is, are people interested in this thing? Do they want to see it? Right? And so you have to find an intersection between that at the very least. So how do we do that? Well, Ikigai is a Japanese framework. Basically means reason for being, and it's an amazing set of questions that you can use. And by the way, there's going to be a document below this video in the school group, and if you're not in the school group, hit the link below and get in it, and then you can find the document in the classroom. That document will have all the questions on it that you can actually walk through this exercise yourself. It's very, very important. The first section of Ikigai is, what do you love? Write down every topic that you are genuinely interested in. Something that you can talk about consistently forever, okay? Write down every single one. Every single topic that you are interested in that you could talk about forever. Because what we're going to do is we're going to get cross-sections of each one. And the ones that repeat the most, that'll be where your niche is. And so, first one is, what do you love? The second one is, what are you good at? Write down every single skill and expertise that you think you have. And don't judge yourself too harshly. A lot of times we take our knowledge and our skills for granted. If you spend years doing something simply because you like it, you're probably a lot better at it than most people. And so you don't need to be too harsh on yourself when it comes to judging your skills, right? Even if you're great at Pokemon, a lot of people are not great at Pokemon, and they might like to learn from you. And so everything, write down all of your skills. If it's not good enough, you can do that later. Write down all of your skills and expertise, things that you're better than most people at, right? Next, what you're going to need is, what do people need? What's the market demand? Do people need, Pokemon game tutorials? Is there a demand for that? Do people need how-to videos on how to be healthy and how to cook healthy meals on a budget under 10 minutes? Yeah, a lot of people need that, and a lot of people would love it. If that's something that you're interested in, you can do that, right? So figure out topics that people actively search for. And so whenever you have ideas, you can go into Google Trends and see if people are actually looking for this thing. And what can you be paid for? Aside from getting ad revenue based on how many people view your content, you can also get paid in the form of a course, sponsorships. Step one is getting a lot of people to watch your videos, but step two, you can make a course, you can get sponsors, you can have affiliate links, you could sell your crafts on Etsy, a lot of different things that you can be paid for. And so here's how this works. Basically, you have what you love, what the world needs from you. That'll be vocation. What you would prefer to be paid for, or what you could be paid for. All right. And so you're going to write down everything you can in these 4 categories, and the things that repeat the most should highlight them as potential niches. And then you start thinking about passion and mission and profession and vocation, right? And so for me, I am very passionate about self-help. My mission is to help other people stop procrastinating on their YouTube channels and their video creation. My vocation is to be a YouTuber and, a coach. My profession being a coach, a mentor, right? All sort of orbits around the same ideas, right? And so you want to figure out what that is for you. And so this could take some time. It took me a while, but just keep writing it out. If you finish one page and you're not happy with it, write it out again. Write it out again. And stick around to the end of the video, because I'm going to tell you a much easier way to do this. Spoiler alert, it's just be the niche, make yourself the niche, and just talk about things that you're interested in. And eventually you'll start to figure out what the audience wants from you. Cross-reference that with what works in the algorithm and what you could possibly be paid for. And then boom, eventually you will have your niche. And so you don't have to do this before you post videos. You can do this while you're making videos, right? You can look at, so for example, what the world needs from you. You can just start posting videos about what you love and what you're good at. And eventually the algorithm will show you what do people want from you. And that will also be very closely related to what you can be paid for. And so you don't have to know all of this in the beginning. You can just start with what you love and what you're good at, and just say the niche is me, and start posting lots and lots of videos and perfecting your craft, getting better at titles, getting better at thumbnails. And eventually the audience and the YouTube algorithm will tell you what they need from you and what you could probably get paid for, right? And so you don't have to know all of this in the beginning. This can be an ongoing journey of discovery. It was for me. I'll tell you guys right now, I used this, but I was not able to sit down and write it out truthfully and properly in the beginning. I had to go on a journey. I had to post a lot of different videos. I had to try a lot of different things that eventually led me from audience feedback and feedback from the market. That eventually led me to understanding what my ikigai actually is. And I would say it's still evolving. And so do not use this as a means of procrastination. Don't say, oh, I got to figure this out. No. Yes, you'll figure it out eventually, but keep posting videos, okay? It's very important that you don't stop posting videos, because posting videos gets you data from the YouTube algorithm, and that'll help you figure this out, all right? So the goal is obviously you need to find a niche that intersects all areas. So let's do an example. Personal development. If you're on a personal development journey like I am, you can customize it. For example, my personal development journey is that I procrastinated on YouTube a lot. I allowed planning and watching YouTube videos to get in the way of the one thing that would make my channel grow. And that was actually posting YouTube videos. Who would have thought, right? And so that's my journey. And now my journey has led me to a place where I've solved the problem. I have a very specific skill that I developed from solving my own problems, and now I'm giving it to you guys. You're welcome. For free, by the way. Yeah. Fitness and health, is that something that you're good at, something that you're interested in, something that you like? Tech and AI tutorials, business, finance, psychology, human behavior. There's lots of different sub-niches that you can be in. Charisma, habits, influence. There are lots of ways, there are lots of things that you can do. The easiest way is to just sort of pick the ones that you think you're actually interested in. And a great question to honestly ask yourself is, what do you consume? What do you consume on a daily basis? Because that's a big indicator of what you like, right? So just go to your homepage and look at all of the content that's there and write it out, and write out the genres and the niches of all those different videos. Chances are the niche that you should be in is probably there. Probably. It might be there. So now there's a couple ways that you can research and validate your YouTube niche. The first way that we've already talked about is to just post. Just start posting videos about things that you like. Eventually the algorithm, and just try to make them as good as possible. Over time, eventually the algorithm will tell you. But leading up to that, there are things that you can do. One of my favorites is YouTube auto suggest. All right, you go to YouTube and just start typing in keywords. It will auto suggest things for you. And you can write all of these things down. This can give you a better idea of which one you can be in. Which one do you think works best for you? All of that good stuff. Google Trends, that does work. It works for a lot of people. I personally never took to it. I sort of just wung it. But Google Trends is a good idea. You can also use vidIQ and TubeBuddy. Their free tools allow you to analyze competition and YouTube keywords. I find them to not be the most incredibly accurate technologies, but they're free, so you may as well give them a try and see if they work for you. They might. Again, another idea is Reddit and Quora. Like, if you're just looking for inspiration and just starting, just go and see what questions people are asking, right? Because if people are asking questions on Quora, that's an indication that people care, right? And of course, you can always look at, how high rated is the question? How many comments does it have? How many likes does it have? How many upvotes does it have? The higher the upvotes, the higher the comments, the higher the like count, the more likely that a lot of people are interested in it. So that can be an indicator as well. And so you can't fear competition. A lot of times, people try to be too unique. Listen very, very carefully. Do not try to be so unique that no one else is doing what you do. That will result in failure. If no one's doing it, and you can't find other videos like it, chances are there's no market for it. There's no demand. Unless it's ridiculously new and a crazy good idea that you're just going to jump on, chances are it could be an untapped gold mine, but I almost guarantee you 99% of the time it's just because the internet doesn't care about it, and you are better off copying what successful creators do. Study their video formats, titles, and engagement, and just learn from them. Steal like an artist. Do not try to reinvent the wheel, okay? You have to earn that. You have to earn that by actually just copying what works and doing what the pros do, right? You can't just come up with a great theory on your own. I mean, maybe you do, but chances are you won't. So study. Competition is good. Study the competition. The competition is an indicator of what works. And so if you look at the competition, look at what works, and then apply your own personal spin on it, such as your personality and your special take and the way you structure your videos and the way you speak and your ideas and your point of views and your expertise. That's what will set you apart. But in terms of getting ideas, a great place to start is just copying other people in the niche that you want to be in, because at least then it's validated. You already know it works. And so again, looking at monetization potential, can you make money at this? There are some forms of YouTube content that are difficult to monetize. videos made for kids. It's more difficult to monetize. There's new rules now, and they made it more difficult for you to get ad revenue on kids' content, content that's meant for kids. And so you might not get paid as much. There are different rules on terms of age-restricted content, right? If YouTube deems that it's not advertiser-friendly, and advertisers don't want your stuff in front of your age-restricted content on YouTube, you might not get paid as much, all right? So there are limitations. There are certain things, and again, you can go and read about it in YouTube guidelines. I'm pretty sure most of you can guess what it is, all the different things that might be restricted. But basically, if it's meant for kids, or if it's restricted and age-restricted, chances are being advertiser-friendly might not be, right? Especially if you have curse words within the first 7 seconds of the video. And if you just copy other people's content and re-upload it, that might also not be monetization-friendly as well. And it's very difficult to build a personal brand and business when nobody knows who you are. You're just uploading shorts from other people's content, right? If all you do is just upload shorts with like TikTok music over it and little CapCut fonts of celebrities and things like that, right? Like, that's not your content. It might be more difficult to monetize, or maybe it's easier to monetize. You'll have to test it out. But YouTube does have restrictions on re-uploading content, and so you'll want to read those and make sure that you're not violating any of them, right? And then, of course, if you build out your personal brand and you have a talking head video like what I'm making here, eventually you can sell digital products, kind of like what I do. I have a free course, but affiliate marketing. If you're a tech YouTuber, you can have Amazon affiliate links, and consulting and coaching, which is what I do. I'm a coach. I give away all the value for free, and then some people want coaching. By the way, hit the link, book a call with me, and see if there's a possibility of us working together. I don't accept everybody, but you might be right. You might be a good fit. You never know. So anyways, a couple niches with strong monetization potential would be tech tutorials. They do tend to have high cost CPM, sponsorships, business finance, health and fitness, AI, and automation. If it's in any of these categories, chances are you can have monetization potential. There's also a lot of potential in politics, but again, politics are very sensitive right now, and so you do need to be thoughtful about how you say things and how you present things. And so, yeah, there's a lot of money to be made in political and social commentary, but you do need to be thoughtful about what you say, because if it's deemed not advertiser friendly, then you might not make as much money, right? So very simply, passion, proficiency, profitability. That's something that you can, that's a framework that you can use. If it has all three, it's probably a winner. If it doesn't, then you might want to keep thinking about it, right? Oops, wrong slide. And always, always, always put the audience first. Too many of us are trying to just put ourselves first. We're just trying to make videos for us. And that's fine in the beginning. You got to get your feet wet somehow. But the moment you start putting the audience first and thinking about who am I speaking to, what are their needs, and how am I going to help them solve their problems or entertain them the way they want to be entertained, that's when things are really going to start to change for you. So definitely make the question at the forefront of your mind is who am I serving? Who is this channel for? Is it for people like me with my experiences? Is it for people who need information, right? Like, make that the center I can't stress this enough. Make that the center. Too many people are like, well, I just want to make videos like this and make videos like what I want to watch. And the problem is, if there's not a high demand for the videos that you like to watch, then you might not be that successful. And so keep the audience as your number one target. This isn't about you. Yes, you do need to like it for it to be sustainable. But if you want to be successful, you need to find the cross section between what you like and what the audience wants from you. Right? And so also ask yourself, what's the easiest content for you to create without getting stuck? Can you produce 100 plus videos in the niche without running out of ideas? Right? That's an important question, because if you make 3 videos and then there's nothing else for you to talk about, right? Like maybe the niche is too small. Maybe you need to go a bit more broad, right? And so that's something that you need to think about as well. And also, you need to choose to make certain kinds of videos that you actually are capable of making. If you decide to make videos with multiple camera angles and a big studio setup, but you don't even have a computer that can process that kind of footage, well, you're kind of stuck, right? If you only have a phone, then, talking head videos with not a lot of editing is probably the way to go. Very personal, authentic, intimate videos is probably going to work better for you, considering you don't have access to the technology to make big budget stuff, right? And also, if you want to make, very complex edits, but then you get bored editing and you stop editing and you can't afford to pay someone else to edit, well, then maybe you shouldn't make videos that require you to do a lot of editing in the beginning, if editing is not your thing. If you can't sit down and edit for 2 to 3 hours and get it done, then maybe you shouldn't be making videos that require you to do that. You should pick a style of video that's easiest for you to make in the beginning, right? Because, again, we need to reverse engineer from the ultimate goal. You need to know what your audience wants. The best way to do that is to give them something and see how they respond. So you got to get videos out the door. And so what style of video should you be doing? The videos that are easiest for you to get out the door, that are also authentic, but also challenge you just enough where you're learning every single time, but they're not too difficult that you get discouraged and stressed and then procrastinate and then never get a video out, because that's counterproductive, right? So you want to slowly increase the production value of your videos over time as you earn it. You have to earn the skills and you have to earn the views to get the clarity on what to make, right? And so mistakes to avoid. Guys, I see so many people picking a niche just because it makes money. Honestly, I understand that it looks like the grass is greener on the other side, but let's be honest. The grass is greener where you water it. That's the truth. If you hate it, I guess you can make money with little shorts videos, clips from TV shows and athletes and stuff, but that's just editing, right? There's no creative storytelling in that. There's no authenticity. You might not be talking about things that you like. All you're doing is stealing clips off the internet, downloading them, putting them in CapCut, and then editing them into shorts, hoping that you get millions of views so that you can make some dollars. And if that process is not fun for you, then maybe you shouldn't do it, right? Because you're just going to burn out, you're not going to enjoy it, and it's going to be really, really difficult, right? And also, those channels are a dime a dozen, and most of them don't succeed because there's nothing unique about them. They all just copy each other, right? Whereas if you make a channel with your face in it that tells your personal story, well, guess what? That's like the easiest way to be unique ever, because there's only one of you and there's only one story like yours. And so no one can copy that. No one can copy your life story. Nobody can copy you, right? And so that So that's probably the more sustainable road. And then if you combine it with a skill that you have that other people need, then you can get monetized that way. And now I understand that might be more difficult for you to do, but if you're just chasing the cheap dollars the easiest way possible, can it work? Sure, it can. That's why people do it, because it has worked for other people. But let's be honest. If you can't do it sustainably, and it's an oversaturated market, and it's very, very difficult for you to make anything unique, and you're just copying other creators, chances are it's not going to work. Being too broad, self-improvement might be a little bit too wide. Maybe you want to do self-improvement for introverts, self-improvement for men, right? Like for me, I do I'm in the self-improvement niche, but I help video creators on YouTube with procrastination, right? Like that's quite specific of a niche. And I don't know of any other creators who do it the way that I do. So I've put myself in a very specific situation where I have a specific set of skills and a personal story that all orbits around that niche, right? And it took me a while to find it, but I never would have gotten here had I not started posting to begin with. And that's another big mistake that you can make, is overthinking. We've already talked about this, but I have to hammer it home again because so many of you are just wasting your time doing this. Stop overthinking, pick something, just start with you and what you like and make videos. And then use the data that you get from that to make more informed decisions as you go. You should not be spending weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks on end trying to figure out your niche. Keep making videos and keep thinking about it as you're doing it. Because by the time you get around to actually figuring out your niche, you could already have 1,000 subs. That's literally what happened to me. So, there's no reason for you to not be making videos once a week, testing your skills, and putting something out there for it to be judged and assessed by the audience to give you more data, right? We've already talked about this a little bit, but personality is key, right? Like, they can't copy you. They can't copy you. They can't copy your story. And so, there's so many people out there doing the same generic thing and leaving money on the table by not telling their personal story, right? Like, put your spin on it. The easiest way to put your spin on a self-help channel is to just talk about your personal self-help journey. That's literally the easiest way to make it unique, right? You can, and of course, innovating on format, if you have a camera that allows you to make, really cinematic videos, then by all means do that, right? Take what you have, be resourceful, and innovate if you can. And of course, you can combine niches. You don't have to just do AI. You can do AI tools for YouTube growth, right? Self-help versus psychology research, right? You could be a psychological self-help person, or self-help and new age, or Christian self-help, right? Like, there's a lot of things that you can put together to make it more unique. Fitness or biohacking, or fitness for people over 50, or fitness for teenagers, right? Or fitness for people who don't have access to a gym, right? There's a lot of ways that you can make the niches more specific and tailored to you, so that your specific set of skills helps that person that niche attracts, right? And so if you're a Christian who loves self-help, well, then maybe you can do a Christian self-help channel where you take self-help advice and apply it from a biblical point of view and also tell your personal story, right? Like, that is immediately a much more interesting niche than just self-help. I don't want to watch some AI generated bullcrap where ChatGPT just spit out a script and it's just an AI voice reading generic self-help tips. I would rather watch, a person who has a certain set of beliefs contextualize the self-help tips in their personal journey and their belief system. That's far more interesting, right? So yeah, overall, final tips, validate demand, check monetization options. Definitely test with 10 to 20 videos before fully committing. Maybe you get to the third video and you see, it's not quite for you. And once you start posting videos that get traction, double down on those, right? If they flop, analyze it, give feedback. You can always submit them to the school group so that, we can give you some actual feedback. But overall, a good niche will balance your passion, demand, monetization. Competition's not a bad thing. You should just copy the competition because just do what already works, and then you can innovate later, right? And of course, the best niche is one that you can stick with long term, right? And so trust me on this. Action creates clarity. There's no need for you to be sitting around with a notepad and being like, oh, let me take the next couple of weeks and just do this over and over and over again. No, make videos, see how you feel, see how you start, see how it works. Literally just talk to the old you, the you 2 years ago that needs your help. Talk to them. They exist and they'll come. And you could just figure the rest out as you go. Oh, look, I can't spell. Oh, well. Guys, trust me. Do not waste your time trying to get clarity on a direction and, where you should be going. Make some videos and let the process of making videos, submitting them to the internet, getting feedback from the algorithm, let that guide you to clarity. You'll get clarity 10 times faster doing that. And I know a lot of times it's an ego thing. Oh, but I want people to see me this way. I want to look this way. I want to have a bank of videos set up. By the way, nothing wrong with having banked videos. But if you're brand new to this, chances are none of those videos are going to do anything anyways. And you'll have to make more videos and try and improve your skills anyways. And so it's not necessarily the highest advantage. At least if you don't know what you're doing and you're brand new, just start putting stuff out there so that you can start improving your skills and getting real feedback. That's the most important thing, is actually getting real feedback so that you can contextualize your thoughts and your ideas with real world evidence. Then you will actually be able to grow and figure out your niche from there. Guys, I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to get the document down below so you can practice your Ikigai worksheet. And I also, on that document, there's a lot of tutorials that will be able to help you as well. And as always, if you want more advice, you can click that video right there. I will see you guys next time.